Boxing during dinner is back. Hopefully we won't be doing it once a year, as has been the custom for the last couple of years. Since Alex Sanchez left us, very high and dry and left to LA.
Yeah, but he took on a great job. Alex is with the NFL Network now in Los Angeles, so
and
you can't really fault him for leaving boxing during dinner.
And he's getting married.
Yeah,
we'll be going to Boise, Idaho.
We'll bring boxing
during dinner, Boise, Idaho. Hey, we did it for my wedding. We'll do it for his wedding.
Yeah, that sounds good. And eventually, maybe, hopefully, I'll have one too.
Exactly. So boxing during dinner back, and we're in a new spot. David, you want to tell us more about it?
Yeah. So behind you, you might see the purple lights illuminating, but we're at 320 Gastro Lounge, also in Coral Gables. So it's a new spot for us, a new home, new episodes, and all that. And 320 Gastro Lounge is basically taking Asian flavors and Latin flavors and mixing them together in some favorite dishes. But they have some American classics
some good
too.
Flavors.
Yeah, a lot of good ones. So Armando likes the mac and cheese though, which is going to be coming out in a minute. It's absolutely incredible. I ordered the cavatappi pasta with some chicken, which is light but really filling. Awesome. They have live music Wednesday through Sunday, even for brunch. Ladies' night on Wednesdays. Ladies drink free from 5 to 9. So it's a great spot in Merrick Park in Coral Gables. If you guys are in the South Florida area, definitely come check it out here.
You got to definitely come by, and some nice shops around here. You could eat here, do some shopping, and
don't bring your girlfriend because she'll spend all your money. But Merrick Park is. It's not cheap.
it'll go quick.
Yeah.
But David, we have a whole year to catch up on.
So let's do it all right now.
Let's start. So the last time we recorded was about September. So in October, we're not going to do that to you guys. But the hot topic the last year or so has been Canelo, Triple G Canelo. Everybody, you got people that love Triple G. You got people that love Canelo, like Ernesto Amador from Univision, and big time apologist, but a good dude. But Canelo and Triple G, David, it's very interesting. It seems like they've taken like two paths, right? Mm-hmm. Triple G fights whoever the hell they give him. If you don't want to fight him, he takes on the next guy.
Yep.
Canelo Alvarez has gotten a little selective. I don't know if rightfully so or unrightfully so. I mean, De La Hoya has to take care of his promotion, and Canelo brings in a lot of bucks. But Canelo Alvarez, since we last filmed this, David, let's face Amir Khan, who he knocked out cold as everybody expected.
Predicted.
And Liam Smith.
We're gonna do the first.
And before we talk about Liam Smith, we got.
I knew that was yours.
All right, so this right here.
We got some food, and Brian, who's on camera.
Oh, right here for Armando.
Some tacos.
So can you tell him about this one here? What is that one?
Pork panza is basically an Asian steamed bun.
Wow.
With shredded pork and kimchi on top.
Awesome.
Simple and great flavor.
That's awesome. And you got the soft buns, which is like part of the Asian. Yeah, don't touch the.
Look at this mac and cheese.
Don't touch the skillet, brother.
It's fantastic.
That is truly a favorite. And then this is.
Wait
I went sort of healthy, so this has some Kalamata olives, some onions and broccoli, and the carrots as well. I'm sorry, carrots. And the chicken as well. But this is one of my favorites on the menu as well.
Those aren't carrots. That's chicken.
Yeah.
But we were talking about Canelo, Liam Smith. So 2 fights in a row that you didn't have to order the fight. You didn't have to go to the fight. You knew the outcome before you got in.
Yeah.
And the Canelo apologist will tell you Liam Smith was tougher than advertised. He went in there, he fought, he had a title. But then again, it's Liam Smith, who Bob Arum named the 3rd best fighter in his family. Meanwhile, Triple G fights Kell Brook. And a lot of people had an issue with him fighting a 147-pounder. Canelo was like, oh, look, he criticized me fighting Khan. He's fighting a welterweight. Well, he actually fought a legit welterweight, not a junior welterweight. And he fought the best welterweight.
Yeah, or
the
at least,
champion,
or a very highly recognized title holder, which Amir Khan hasn't smelled a world title in 5 years.
And if you go back through the history of boxing, some of the best matchups of all time, period, have been a welterweight champion against a middleweight champion. I mean, LaMotta Robinson. You had Henry Armstrong move up. You had Marlon Starling move up and fight Michael Nunn. Not the greatest fight, but he did it as well. So what side do you take here, David? Because I seem to side with Triple G. I think this is a fight that needs to take place for boxing. Canelo seems to want it. I think De La Hoya is a little hesitant to pull the trigger, and I know his reasons. I mean, he's not totally in the wrong. But for the sport of boxing, I mean, forget Canelo's 24, 25 years old. I mean, this is a fight that needs to happen now for the fans and for the sport.
I agree wholeheartedly. And, interestingly enough, it's Canelo's getting, or I'm sorry, Triple G was now getting crap for fighting Kell Brook, the exact same thing that Canelo did. And he's, Triple G is 34 years old now. Canelo, I think, is 26, if he's 25, 26 at that age. And so it's like this fight has marinated long enough. We know what happens when you let it marinate too long. Yes, Mayweather-Pacquiao made a lot of money, and we recognize that at the end of the day is what drives all these decisions.
But everybody would have liked to have seen it a few years earlier.
The fight wasn't as scintillating. And so, I think in terms of timing, it couldn't be better, right? Because Triple G faced a guy who made him look beatable in Kell Brook, right? If you're thinking, a lot of people are saying, oh, if Kell Brook was a full-fledged middleweight, if Canelo was landing those clean shots, maybe that's a different story. And on the flip side, Canelo fights a guy who's tailor-made for the type of, ass-whooping that was put on him. And so, of course, people are like, oh, wow, Canelo, great combinations, broke him down to the body. But yeah, Triple G's not going to be broken down like that. Liam Smith caught Canelo clean with left hooks and a couple other shots throughout that fight. Taking those shots from Triple G is a different story. The biggest issue I have with the fact that this fight hasn't been made yet is the fact that 2 fights ago, when Amir Khan was unconscious in the ring, still probably, you hear Canelo get in the ring and say, I will fight him tonight. I will fight him tonight. Okay, I think the issue is Oscar De La Hoya. I don't believe that Canelo Alvarez is afraid of Triple G or anybody for that matter. But the reality is he pushed for fights against Arislandi Lara. He pushed for fights against Austin Trout, guys that were the boogeymen of the division that no one wanted him to go near. The reality is if Canelo Alvarez really wanted this fight, if he really wanted to negotiate it seriously, then he has enough power and push to make that happen.
And I wanted to touch upon that. And by the way, this is really good. As you saw, I was like getting the cheesiness out of my mouth.
Yeah, you answered I'm going to eat.
But you touch on a point there because in an age where we have Twitter, we have Instagram, we have all these different platforms. I mean, Canelo could Snapchat and say, Triple G, I want you. Like right now, I want to knock you out. Do you think it falls more on Canelo? Because before, you just have to go through your promoter, and whatever your promoter says, you go out to the press, you put whatever out there. Now a fighter could just go on his Twitter and just go Donald Trump on Triple G at 3 a.m. right, and make the fight happen. Like, he'll push the envelope, make De La Hoya sign the fight. And by the way, what if Canelo does beat Triple G? And this is all for naught. I mean, it could happen. I mean, I'm still a Triple G guy. I think Triple G will win the fight, but Canelo is a good fighter.
Canelo is easily the best fight that Triple G could have, and I think Triple G is beatable. I mean, look, he's absolutely the best middleweight on the planet, and he's earned everything that's come his way. Granted, maybe against softer opposition, but I agree with the notion that, I don't know if Canelo could have beaten everybody that Triple G beat, and maybe vice versa. So it's very interesting to see when those two guys would come together. But to your point, could the fight be made if Canelo wanted to step on the gas and push it? Yes. And here's one of the issues I have, and the reason I don't think it will get made until later next year, which is when they projected it, I know, is because De La Hoya's team has said that they already sent over an offer to Triple G, a flat rate, which is a virtual insult to a fight of this magnitude, to take the guy who is the title holder in the weight class that you're trying to move into.
You can't have a flat rate after the world of boxing, the world of sports, saw what Floyd Mayweather could do.
Yeah.
With pay-per-view revenue, with everything else.
With Pacquiao, too. I mean, think about Triple G and Canelo, each in their last fights probably only, the last fight for Triple G was on, live TV or HBO.
But it was a pay-per-view, I think, in England,
the UK or something like that. But let's say each of these guys, I think the numbers for Canelo were closer to 300,000. Triple G's prior to that on his other card were maybe 150,000. But the reality is, neither of those guys fighting each other are going to put up a similar amount. There was a multiplier effect. When Mayweather and Pacquiao fought each other, 4.4 million pay-per-views, right? Neither of those guys had ever sniffed just beyond 2 million before together. So the reality is, a flat fee is an embarrassment to the negotiation in this, and I think De La Hoya is trying to fool the public again into believing that the negotiation is ongoing, but a flat rate is a slap in the face to anybody involved.
And we'll talk more about this fight as we go along here with Boxing During Dinner in the next few weeks, because we are going to start doing this regularly again, we promise. And David seems to have a healthy plate of food there. I have a healthy plate of food. Tyson Fury wishes he had a healthy plate of cocaine.
Oh my God.
From what we've seen. Tyson Fury. Here's a guy that beats Vladimir Klitschko. Finally, like knocks the Klitschko's off the top of the heavyweight list. He pulls out of the first rematch against the first time the rematch was scheduled against Klitschko,
Yeah.
citing an injury, right?
Ankle.
Second time because of mental issue. We find out it's because the guy has been hitting the yayo, and to add insult to injury, and we are here in Miami. I mean, this is like where Scarface was born.
And Cocaine Cowboys was shot
And
here.
Cocaine Cowboys, right? Billy Corbin, he's my guy over on Twitter. So Tyson Fury, to add insult to injury, posts a picture of him as Tony Montana with
He posted
a
that?
mountain of cocaine,
wow.
and he changes his Twitter handle to Tyson Montana. Is this guy serious? Does this guy want to rule the heavyweight division, or does he just want to do whatever the hell he wants to do?
More than anything, I think Tyson Fury wants to be loved. Seems like he's extremely insecure. And the thing that kept coming out in the stories before it was revealed cocaine was the reason that he was mentally unfit to fight, was that he felt after he won, the world titles from Vladimir Klitschko, that he was going to be the toast of the heavyweight division. And the reality was he returned home to a less than scintillating, fanfare type of reception. And I think that his ego took a real hurt from that. Tyson Fury seems to be a very sensitive guy. Part of the reason why he does these showman types of things like singing at the end of his matches and
Right.
stuff like that. Because I think the guy desperately needs attention and validation.
So did Anthony Joshua drive him to cocaine? Because he seemed to be getting a lot of attention,
yeah.
and hopefully we get to see him
Oh, I thought you were
against
mentioning
Vladimir
because
Klitschko.
Anthony Joshua had once been convicted of drug dealing, a small amount of marijuana, but in 2011.
We don't know where Tyson Fury bought the drugs from.
We don't.
That's all we're saying.
Can neither confirm or deny.
And I'm not accusing anybody, but
I think you're wholeheartedly correct that the Anthony Joshua love affair, it goes a lot to and think about now we're getting a little psychological, right? But when at the press conference for when they were supposed to have the fight the second time around, Klitschko, had to sit there as Tyson Fury took his shirt off and was basically mocking like, "Oh, you got beat by a fat boy. I got beat by a fat boy." Always making references to his body in the build-up to fights. Anthony Joshua is a physically attractive, ripped, shredded type of, ideal prototype of what a heavyweight champion is supposed to be. And he's getting all the headlines. He has one belt.
I think he's the most sellable heavyweight in a long time.
Tyson Fury's not, and I think it's gotten
a Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua fight will attract more fans than the heavyweight division has attracted in a long time.
wholeheartedly. Yep.
And as much as we want to talk about the heavyweight division and its past, with Burt Cooper and Ray Mercer and Tommy Morrison. Tommy Morrison's kid, by the way, just won by knockout.
He's what, 12-0 now?
So
Kid can
we'll
fight.
talk more about that as the weeks come in the next few weeks, right? Few weeks come in every few
It's gonna
weeks,
happen.
right? So it's gonna happen. But we got
Believe me,
we
trust
got
me.
tons more to talk about in a short span of time. November, December, packed
Wow.
with fights. We got Pacquiao Vargas. We have Ward Kovalev. We have Lomachenko Walters.
Yeah.
And then in December, we possibly have Triple G Jacobs. And we have Julian Williams against Charlo.
One of them.
One of them.
And then
One
there's
of
also the rumor that could be any day now. Also on the day of Lomachenko Walters is that Vladimir Klitschko might actually fight Anthony Joshua.
I like
and depending on what these sanctioning bodies do with the heavyweight belts that Fury may be stripped of, you might be looking at a fight for the unified heavyweight title of the world between two of the biggest stars, on that side of the pond.
What fight sticks out for you the most out of the ones I mentioned?
It's hard to say, but it has to be Ward Kovalev. And the fact that Guillermo Rigondeaux might end up on the undercard of that, you have arguably 3 of the top 5 consensus pound-for-pound fighters on the same card, on the same night. I can't remember the last time something like that happened. Do I believe personally, and this is a little bit of a segue, I believe Andre Ward should be favored in the fight against Sergey Kovalev. And I don't know if the odds are going to show that or not. The reality is, though, that Sergey Kovalev is the man to beat at 175 pounds, regardless of what Adonis Stevenson would have you say. And the way that he boxed and beat Bernard Hopkins, I think, is an indicator that there are multiple levels to what Sergey Kovalev is capable of. With that said, Andre Ward is a sublime talent who absolutely whitewashed everybody in the Super 6 when he entered in as maybe the second lowest, possible fighter to actually make it out of that thing.
And Andre Ward is way too talented as a fighter to be the underdog in this fight. And I know Kovalev is an absolute beast. but Ward could just box his ears off. I mean, I know he hasn't faced the toughest challenge. I mean, he did fight Sullivan Barrera, who's a good fighter. I think he's a really good fighter, and he made him look foolish just because Ward is that good.
Yeah.
And plus, he's going to be in Creed too, right? I mean, he's got to fight him.
He has to be. That's the storyline everybody wants to know.
And Tony Bellew just he won a title since Creed, so. And you got the top pound for pound fighter. I mean, it's a pathway to success, absolutely. And as we're winding down boxing during dinner, David, I want to say that I think the fight I do want to look that I'm looking the most forward to out of those that I mentioned is Lomachenko Walters.
I had a feeling you'd say that.
I think Lomachenko is probably in the top 5 right now, pound for pound fighters, and on skill alone, I think he's probably one of the top 2 or 3. I mean, the guy, his foot movement, the way his hands, the speed, I mean, his power. Look what he did to Rocky Martinez. This guy is, to me, I see like a Roy Jones in a smaller body, fighting at 126, 130, and he could even go up to 135. And Lomachenko, to me, is a gift to boxing. I think he's going to absolutely, beat Walters easily, even though Walters does have that one-punch knockout power. He could get him. But I think Lomachenko's just, he's fantastic.
I think Lomachenko is easily top 3 skill-wise. I'm hesitant to rank him in the top 5 pound for pound yet until he has a few more credible wins under his belt. Now, that's not a knock on him at all.
Now, would you rank him there if he beats Walters, and convincingly?
Yeah, I think so, because Nicholas Walters was the boogeyman in that division. I mean, he just destroyed Nonito Donaire when he was still the guy in that weight class, too. And yes, I think the only unfortunate part about this is that Walters doesn't have a signature win on his record in a while. He's sort of been quiet for the past, he'll have been out of the ring for a year by the time
he had that bogus draw against
whoever now at this point. I can't even think of it, but which is a fight that Walters won. So I think his star is a little bit dim at the moment, but if that in no way diminishes that Nicholas Walters is the man to beat at that weight class. And I think with a signature win, for Lomachenko over Nicholas Walters, if he beats him convincingly, validates all the things that people believe about him. And I absolutely expect to see him beat Nicholas Walters, and that's saying a lot. And if he does that, then I think you're looking at him in that same top 5 pound for pound conversation that Amir Khan used to be in with you.
Right, and hopefully he doesn't face the same fate. But that's a wrap for Boxing During Dinner. We want to thank 320 Gastro Lounge. We want to thank Kieran Mulvaney, who he helped push this. He made this happen. Let's be honest.
I'm gonna give props to Kieran.
The Bermudez brothers, Bernardo Brito. I mean, all our fans that hey, where's Boxing During Dinner?
Yeah.
No, soon. And it took a year, but as the weeks go on, we're gonna have guests. We're gonna have maybe we'll bring some girls back. I don't know. I mean, we did in the past.
Crazy.
And also November 5th here in Miami is the Walk to End Alzheimer's. It's a walk and a cause that's very important to me. My father has Alzheimer's. He's had it for the last 12 years. It's a horrible disease. If you haven't lived through it, you don't want to live through it. I mean, just read up on it, do your research, and on the Boxing During Dinner page, look out for the link. You could join to walk with me on November 5th, or you could donate, make a donation. No donation is small enough. I mean, you could donate 50 cents, literally 50 cents, and we'll be more than grateful. It's a great cause. Mm-hmm. So again, Boxing During Dinner here from 320 Gastro Lounge, and we're gonna eat.
Might as well.
We're hungry.
And I look forward to saying this one more time. We'll see you guys next week.